When I open my eyes, I see him smiling at me. In the morning, I am the only one having breakfast. Mama Bozorg is still in bed. Mom is helping Ollie get ready for school. Except for the tick-tock of the wall clock, the house is quiet. The samovar sits on the cold stove. I miss the sound of it hissing as it brings water to a boil for tea. Remember to drink water if you have to, Mom says to Ollie. I'll be fine, Mom, he replies and looks at me. This isn't the first time I've fasted. I feel jealous and stop eating my cereal. Why can't I fast? You think you could manage without food for the whole day? Ollie asks with a smirk as he heads for the door. When I get home from school, Mom looks pale. Are you hungry? I ask her. Just tired, she says. How much longer before you are allowed to eat? Not until after the sun goes down, but I'm making dinner for you now. By the time Dad comes home, it's nearly dark. Is it almost time to break the fast? I ask. It's called iftar, Ollie corrects me. Mom is busy cooking. The water is boiling for tea, and there are small dishes of sweets on the counter. Shirin, you can eat again with us if you want, Mom says. She hands me a bowl of steaming bean soup. May Allah feed whoever is hungry, Maman Bozorg says, before drinking her first glass of tea. Dad pours some milk for Ali. Do you want to have dates with your milk? Mom asks Ali. He nods his head and smiles. Can I have some dates too? I ask. Absolutely. After we finish eating, it's time to pray again. Maman Bozorg and Mom wear their chadors. As Mom stands and sits, the soft cloth catches the breeze. She looks beautiful. Later I ask, how come you don't always wear a scarf like Maman Bozorg? Mom laughs and says, you know, not every Muslim woman covers her hair. But in the pictures Auntie sends us, she always wears a scarf. In her country, it is the custom. There are different traditions about such things, but all Muslims use the same prayers, and we all observe Ramadan. I still want to fast. Mama Bozorg looks up from her prayer mat. Shirin, I have been thinking about your desire to be part of Ramadan. Have you thought of doing some good deeds? She asks softly. Yes, but I'm still trying to figure out what to do, I answer. I only know that I want to do something that will surprise my family. In the days that follow, everyone continues to fast, except me. Sometimes during the night I wake up and listen to the sounds of their voices as they eat. Dad and I still go out for our moon watching. As the nights go by, the moon slowly gets bigger and brighter. The moon is getting fatter, I say one evening, standing outside with Dad. Pishi is looking up at the silvery half moon too. She arches her back and runs away to vanish in the darkness beyond the trees. Dad says the moon changes its shape as Ramadan moves on. I like it when it gets to be really big again, I say. Soon it will be a full moon, and we will be halfway through Ramadan, Dad tells me. A few days later, Dad teases Mom as she complains of headaches. Admit it, you miss your morning tea. Maybe, she says and winks at me. But I don't see you playing tag with your daughter as usual. I jump up saying, come on, Dad, come get me. He just sits there and looks serious. I miss Dad chasing me from room to room. I love it when he catches me and lifts me over his head and pretends to drop me down. I ask him if he will pick me up. He shakes his head. You're a big girl now. Then why don't you let me fast? I beg once again. You have to be patient and wait a year or two, he says. Shirin, let me tell you a story, Maman Bozorg says with a mysterious smile. Yeki bood, yeki nabood, she starts. Once upon a time. In my head, I translate the words into English. There was a small boy who wanted to fast for Ramadan like the elders in his family. He kept asking his parents to let him do so. His mother came up with a clever compromise. She said, what if you were to fast in bits and pieces for parts of the day? Dad sips his tea and watches my grandmother as she fixes her scarf and continues. Would Allah accept my fasting even though it is only done part-time? The small boy asked. Of course Allah would like such an offering, the mother said. Your part-time fasting would be beautiful and precious, the way a quilt is beautiful, all different pieces becoming one gift. The boy liked the plan, so from that day on, he kept his part-time fast during Ramadan, and everyone was happy. The end, Mama Bozorg says, finishing her story. Do you know the boy in the story? I ask. But I know from the way she and my father exchanged smiles that my dad was the boy in the tale. By the next night, the moon is completely round. I go out to the pond in back of our house and see the moon's trembling reflection in the water. When Pishi drops her paw in the pond, the moon breaks into hundreds of tiny silvery pieces. It's so beautiful. After prayers are done that evening, I ask Dad if I can fast the same way as the boy in Mama Bozorg's story. He asks Mom what she thinks, and she smiles, looking at me. Yes, and I think I will make a quilt myself, she says. I need something to do to distract from my longing for tea, she adds, laughing. I go to bed feeling happy to have permission to fast, even if it is only part-time. The next day when Dad comes home from work, he asks if I'm okay going without breakfast and lunch. He kisses me on my forehead 3 times, the way he kisses the heart-shaped prayer stone. We go outside to watch the sunset. The sky turns red as if it's on fire. Then, as the darkness of night grows, Dad starts the grill to barbecue chicken. I head inside to help Mom. Can you please start the water boiling for tea? She asks as she drains the water from the rice she is cooking. How come Ali does nothing? I ask. He feels too weak, my grandmother says with a little twinkle. Not everyone fasting is doing as well as you, Sharon. This makes me feel good. I offer to help my mother pin together the squares for the quilt later. After school the next day, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. When I open the door to the kitchen, I see Ali stuffing something in his mouth. I almost yell that he is cheating, but I stop. I might have forgotten he is fasting. I know for myself how hard it is to fast. My mouth waters as I watch him take big bites of golden apple. What are you doing here? Ali asks with surprise. Nothing, I say. I want to say that I saw him eating. My brother is so sneaky. I want to tell our parents he has broken his fast. But I decide to stay quiet. I think maybe this silence is my first good deed for Ramadan. Ali stares at me. I walk away feeling proud of myself. Maybe Ali will stop teasing me now. Soon the moon starts to get thinner again. It looks like a half-eaten piece of yellow cheese. Like me, it is losing weight. My dad jokes. I notice Dad's belly is shrinking. In the kitchen, Mama Bozorg is boiling rice in a large pot. I tell her how much I like the special sweet dish she is making. When he was a child, your father liked it too. She lets the rice cook till it gets soggy. She adds lots of sugar and a tiny amount of saffron and leaves it to simmer. Once it cools down, she serves me some. I love Ramadan, I say, between spoonfuls of the sweet yellow rice. My part-time fast makes all this food taste even better than usual. After being hidden behind the clouds for a few nights in a row, the moon disappears altogether. Now we have to wait for the new moon, Dad says. Once we see it in the sky, Ramadan will be over. I am excited because once Ramadan ends, it will be Eid, and there will be presents for Ali and me. Do I get more gifts this Eid, I ask? And why would that be, Dad says. Because this Ramadan I have been fasting part-time, I say proudly. The next afternoon, I walk through the kitchen door and see Ali eating again. I try to find words that will encourage his fasting, but I hear Mom's footsteps coming toward us. Ali has left the open cracker box sitting on the counter. I quickly reach out and put the box back in the cupboard. That's the second good deed I've done for Ali this Ramadan. Ali looks at me in total surprise. I give him a big wink. Kids, what are you doing in the kitchen? Mom calls. Nothing, I answer. Mom walks in carrying some beautiful squares for the quilt. Ali swallows the crackers and turns around with a funny look on his face. He knows I've done him a big favor. Sharon, come help with the quilt. It's almost finished. I follow her out of the kitchen. Later that evening, Dad and I keep up our moon watching. Tonight, Ali comes out with us. After looking for the new moon the next night, Dad rushes inside and says the moon watchers have sighted the new moon. He is exaggerating his voice and sounds like a TV announcer. Eid ul-Fitr, featured. The time of festivity is here. I feel excited, butterflies in my stomach. I know this Eid is going to be wonderful, but I know that I will also miss the fasting and moon watching of Ramadan. The next day, Mom says we are going to decorate our hands with henna. Ramadan spa, she whispers with a big smile. We mix the copper-colored powder with water to make a dark red paste. Dipping into the mix with a matchstick, Mom paints swirls, dots, and stars on my palms. I sit on the sofa keeping my hands still, waiting for the henna to dry. Once it dries, the curly lines and the flowers and dots come to life. My palms look like tiny red carpets. Put those pretty hands to work here, Mama says, and puts a tray full of dates on the counter. I carefully remove the moist pit so that each date can be stuffed with chopped walnuts. Don't eat too many, she says. I'm making other things too. When will we open our presents? I ask. How about right now? I hear a voice behind me. I turn to see Ali standing by the door, holding a large box. I have a gift for my sister who is old enough to fast. He quickly drops the present on the counter and rushes out. Mom looks at me. The confusion on her face matches mine. I lift the gift-wrapped box and shake it a few times. Tell me, what is going on? Mom asks. Ali is getting you a present on his own? I shrug. Ramadan miracle? Mom asks. Ramadan miracle, I giggle, smiling back at her. I hope you guys enjoyed that story about Shirin's Ramadan miracle and about her learning a little bit more about their family's traditions. And I'll see you guys next time.